Hey guys, I'm Christopher Greene. You're watching AMTV, alternative media television, and somebody has to say it. Somebody has to say it. This new iPhone X, Apple X, yes, I know it's called Apple 10, is a freaking nightmare. It is an Orwellian freaking nightmare. It is an absolute freaking horror film. It really, really is. This thing is George Orwell. He couldn't create something this crazy, this flagrant, this insane in his wildest, most creative, drug-induced dream. It is crazy. First of all, Apple should pay you to buy this thing. They should pay you $1,000 so they can map your freaking face. It is I can't even explain how insane this is. Like, think about this for a minute. The first thing Apple did, the first thing that they did is they logged your fingerprint, right, through ID, and then they sold that off to the NSA. That was the first step. The second step is now they're mapping your freaking face through facial recognition, and they're going to send that over to the NSA. They're billing you for it, too. They're going to bill you $1,000 to sell your data and your face over to the NSA. And here's the crappy thing about it. Even if you don't own the phone, your friend's phone that has the phone will map your face anyways. So it's not like you can avoid it. Even if you don't buy the phone, you're still going to have your face mapped by all the other iPhone X's out on the street. So let me tell you what's coming next. After Apple 10, they've finished mapping your freaking face and sending that off to the NSA. I would expect the next version to map this. See, they're doing it in stages. It literally is right in front of your face, guys. Okay, they first took your fingerprint. Now they're going to take your face, and they're going to take your eye next. And they're all sending it straight to the NSA. Okay, this thing is, in a way, from a technological perspective, it's absolutely amazing that this technology even exists. But it is literally your worst freaking nightmare. It is your worst hell. It is unbelievable that the masses, the sheep, will actually buy this thing so this invasive product can come into your life and map your face and the face of your families. I mean, what's next? Take a blood sample next, run all your DNA and all this kind of stuff. It is absolutely insane. The difficulty here is how do we get away from this? That nobody's built any alternatives for us. What are our options? You either use an iPhone or you've got to be a homeless guy on the street, and your other choice is a Google product, an Android, or a Samsung or something like that. There really isn't an alternative. This is the world they've created for us, augmented reality. Americans are spending so much time on their cell phones, they don't even know what it's like to have a real conversation. Okay, they don't even know what it's like to have a meaningful, real, productive life. If it wasn't for constant stimulus and constant entertainment and constant engagement, Americans don't even know what it's like to be bored anymore. Do you realize that boredom is actually a good thing? When you're bored, you actually think. When you think, you become creative. When you become creative, you actually build new things. You discover new things about yourself. You know, I've got to give it to Tim Cook, Mr. Progressive, how he's able to basically have all of his slaves at the Apple factories, right, bleeding their thumbs out, building these products for Apple. They put these nets out because a lot of people are just jumping off the buildings, committing suicide. I've got to give it to Tim Cook for being so gosh darn progressive that he's got the gall to sell you on a phone, ask for $1,000 to steal your information and then give it to the federal government. It is seriously the best business model ever. I've got to give it up to Mark Zuckerberg and Sergey Brin and Larry Page of Facebook and Google. I mean, it's not like their products are free. Not really. You know, when you go through those terms of service, you're signing your life away. It's not free at all. They're selling that data, not just to advertisers and sponsors, which are going to data mine your freaking brain and then advertise to you through constant stimulus. They even have patents that can measure the inflection and movement of your eye to see whether or not you're positively responding to one of the ads that they're running. But in addition to that, in addition to the severe commercialization of our society and profit motive. In addition to that, they're giving all your data to Big Brother. This thing is an Orwellian nightmare. And the sheep are literally going to stand in line because they want to be the first person violated and raped by this new technology. If you don't use a cell phone, you can't even meaningfully be a part of real society anymore because real society isn't real. It's exactly how I knew. People told me, a lot of people, when I started in social media, said, Christopher, it won't work. Social media, dude, that's not going to do anything. Like, people won't, it's just not, it can never become a business. Like, people they won't want to use it. I'm like, no, they will. They will. Just look around you. And if you look around you, everyone's just freaking in their phone all day. I knew that they would monetize it and they'd create this fakery, this illusory fakery. They'd monetize it somehow because they'd have to. The whole thing's based on a freaking foundation of sand and an illusion. So they monetized the fakery. That's what they've done with social media. It's not going away. It's like when people said, oh, reality television is a fad. No, it's not a fad. It's here to stay. It became social media. Now people are like, it's funny. People are like, oh, I think I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I hear you can do really well on YouTube. Well, first of all, that ship has sailed. No longer can you monetize on YouTube if you have real opinion or real thought. They've completely demonetized all of us that actually think for ourselves. If you're doing cat videos or something, then they'll monetize that. And if you're pro Hillary Clinton and you're a liberal and a progressive, then you can monetize that. We've created this freaking la-la land, this chocolate lollipop insanity, insane asylum. Even as a small child, I looked around the world around me and I could see very easily from an early age that the whole thing was flawed, that we were all being controlled, that it was all an illusory environment of indoctrination, that the system was built around us for a reason, to keep us in a box.